Today we are talking about an infamous creature, a creature we all try to avoid, the Karen. They come in many different shapes, many different sizes, and do very many terrifying things to people in our lives. We've met them, maybe you've been one, but today we are going to read stories and we are going to judge people. Are they the Karen? First one here we have, am I the A for being a Karen at dinner? Burner account, I don't trust anyone. We're not off to a good start. Okay. I, 21, male, and my friends went out for my friend's birthday. We got a few rounds of drinks, and then we order our appetizers and entrees at the same time. And I made sure to tell our server to please pace the meal so that our apps and entrees were not served with each other. First, it's kind of a weird thing to say. I feel like they kind of come that way anyways. Here we go. The apps come, and 5 minutes after that, all our entrees are being served. Now, all of us were a little frustrated given the fact that I told the server to pace the meal appropriately. Okay, you're sounding like an asshole. Maybe it's the tone I'm reading it in, but I'm feeling it. We asked that they be taken back and that they wait for us to finish our apps. The server takes the entrees back, and 2 minutes later, a food runner now brings us the same food we had just sent back. We politely told him that we are still eating our appetizer, so he brings it back to the kitchen again. Okay, now I feel like everyone's being an A here. So we finish our apps and we are now ready for the entrees. About 20 minutes go by and we have nothing. Our server hadn't come to check on us, and at this point we were all ready for another round and are still hungry. Finally, only my entree comes out. Nobody else's, and my food is ice cold. I had wrongly assumed that my food was sitting on the hot plate waiting for me, opposed to just sitting off to the side in the kitchen. Now, I tried calling our server over, but she didn't come over until everyone else got their food. I told the server that my food was cold, and without skipping a beat, she responded with verbatim, "It's not cold." She hadn't felt the plate or the food itself, and I was taken aback by the resentment towards me. Ooh, kitchens are crazy. Don't send back your food. You're asking for pubes in your dish, okay? I've worked in a kitchen. So now I am really angry, and I ended up calling over a manager who's being very nice. We told her we hadn't gotten the chance to order another round, and she offered to buy this round for us and take my pasta off the bill. We told her we all wanted a refill on our margaritas. Okay, so you've sent your food back twice. Now you want free drinks and free food? I don't like you. I don't like you, okay? Servers get the worse. I can have stories. 10 minutes later, our server brings us 5 little shots of tequila and said, "My manager wanted me to tell you that your next round is on us." Now, I was confused because I thought we were getting margs, but whatever, free alcohol is free alcohol. But of course, one of my friend goes, "Oh geez, these were supposed to be margaritas." Our server looks at us and straight up says, "You know what? I'm done with you guys," and walks away. Good, baby, don't let anybody treat you like that. We see the manager, so we ask for our check because our server was full on avoiding us at this point. Our server then comes to our table, hands us our check, is very nice and happy like nothing ever happened. And try to get that tip. I said, "Wait, I thought you were done with us." And she replies, "Oh yeah, I forgot," and walks away. This is just like beyond the energy here. I'm ready for it. The manager ends up cashing us out, and I was so angry in the heat of the moment that I stiffed our server out of a tip, which I would never do. Sure, but I felt in that it was the only thing I could do from the disrespect I had gotten. If we were a pain in the ass, I get it, but the attitude was straight up unprofessional. Am I an a-hole for acting this way in this situation? Also, crazy, check this out.
I have to confess something. I have been obsessed with this game, and it is called Midas Merge. I play it way more than I should probably admit, but it has become a part of my daily ritual. It is just my cozy escape, and every time I play, I end up unlocking something even cuter than before. And now, drum roll, there is something completely new to explore. The Firefly Valley. The new garden literally feels like stepping into a dream. Soft glowing lights, magical mist, and the most enchanting little creatures. And they look so cute, like they just floated out of a fantasy story. And beyond all that, the game is free, ad-free, and even works offline, which means I can play it literally anywhere, anytime. Also, there's a free gift for you. The first 200 people that download the game using my link will get an exclusive lantern goat from Firefly Valley. It's rare, it glows, it's adorable, and yes, it even has my name on it. So make sure that you grab your phone, merge some magic, and come play with me in Midas Merge. Let's see who can get to the new garden first, but honestly, the journey is just as fun. All right, back to the video. I'm busy.
Welcome back. Let's read the edits before we get into it, okay? Edit. I live in the US. This restaurant is an upscale chain restaurant. I won't name the place, but the such desserts as the cheesecake come out as fast as you think it's from a factory. Okay, we're talking about Cheesecake Factory. Let's go to the comments before I have my own opinion here. Oh, it's been locked, the thread. Let's read it. You are an a-hole. The server doesn't get to decide when the food is made and delivered. Your demands are a little bit ridiculous. Yes. As a server, not the a-hole. You told her to wait on the entrees. If she was worried she would forget to put in the entrees, she should have asked to take those orders when she brought your appetizers. So here's the interesting thing. If you've ever been to a Cheesecake Factory, it's busy. It's almost always busy. But as someone who is a server, you can put in an appetizer order and then put in an entree order, and then you would just consolidate those checks at the end and put them together as a meal. So I think you didn't handle it right, but I think also your server didn't. But I would rate you kind of the A for how you kind of did deal with things. This has been rated the a-hole. I'm gonna kind of agree with that on this one. Just stop being one. Ooh, next one, am I the A for being a Karen in a comedy club? This always gets me. I'm gonna be so curious here. This happened in 2023, and people who witness it still think I was in the wrong, but I don't see it that way. But let's let Reddit decide. My 32 female at the time and my 29 male at the time had just started to work as a host in a brand new comedy club. So he invited me to come. I ended up being the only paying customer there. Everyone else there beside my friend was either a comedian or a comedian's partner. Everything was fine until one comedian during his performance started interacting with me. He asked me to clap my hands, so I did. He goes, "Every time I tell a joke, would you clap for me, sweetheart?" I laughed and said no. I thought he would be cool about it, but he seemed really uncomfortable and said, "Well, feminist women just like to say no, right?" I felt that was a bit misogynistic, but I let it go. Delicate line between comedy and bad stuff. You know, we look at certain comedians that have really been like roasted, and then you look at other ones that aren't as famous that didn't. It's weird. It's weird what we choose to get so angry about when it comes to comedy, because there's a line, delicate freaking line. The comedian continued his performance and told a joke about SA, I'm guessing. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was something that the best place to self-massage is on public transport. I felt really uncomfortable about that joke. He told it 3 times. No one laughed at any of them. Okay, why would you tell the same joke 3 times? If you're bombing, you're bombing. Leave the stage. Later he goes, "I hope you're all having a good time as we're here to try new material. So if you guys have any feedback, it would be welcome." I looked at my friend beside me and whispered, "Well, he should stop doing SA jokes." I honestly thought the comedian wouldn't hear my comment, but oh, he did. Comedian shouted in a very angry voice, "I'm going to tell the jokes that I want to." Then he started to hyperventilate for a while. Oh, so this isn't being funny, now he's freaking out. When we stopped, he said, "Sorry everyone, but when people try to censor us, I get very mad." After that, he went on and on about how difficult it is to be a comedian, how his jokes are a way to help society, and how some stupid people just don't get it. When he used the word stupid, I got up to smoke and calm down because I was feeling kind of attacked. I understand. I walked to the hallway and there was a camera filming, and I got caught in the footage, apparently. When I reached the smoking area, I realized I forgot my lighter. So I went back to my seat to grab it, and I was caught in the footage. After the cigarette, I felt calm, and the comedian had ended his performance, so I decided to let it go and enjoy the rest of the evening. I had fun, I met new people, and everyone told me that I should have kept my mouth shut. 2 years later, my friend told me that the comedian now tells a joke about how a Karen tried to humiliate him over a silly joke and ruined his footages. I found that amusing, and I'm flattered that I'm his muse for creating new material. My friend still thinks that I'm in the wrong, but honestly, I don't see it. So Reddit, am I the A? I don't think so. I don't think you are. He shouldn't have hyperventilated and went off on a tangent. Comedians, you know, are the most stable and the most unstable people that I've ever met in my life. They're some of my favorite and some of my least favorite people in the whole entire world. This one was rated not the a-hole, which I completely agree. Cop comment here. Him. We're doing material, so any feedback would be welcome. You shouldn't do that one joke. Him. I didn't mean negative feedback. You're censoring me. Also, don't walk back and forth in front of the camera. I sat up right where everybody walks back and forth to go out. That literally, like, I think kind of puts that all together and is a perfect summary. Not the Karen. Ooh, I love parent ones. Is this a mom? Is this a Karen? Let's see. Am I the A for flipping out on my son's school after they lied to him about donation prizes? My son is in 4th grade. School is only open on Mondays. The rest of the week, he is home with me. Where are you? Oh, is this COVID time? Let's see. It's 5 years ago. It was. They don't do virtual learning during the rest of the week. No Zoom calls are made. No teacher actually checks in. Homework at home is not to be sent back to the school. Instead, they get a participation grade at the following week if they tell their teacher they completed it. It's backwards and your students aren't being graded for the work they actually do. Okay. Every Monday, we get a new flyer in the mail asking for donations. Last week, we got a flyer that said to send out 20 emails to individuals and ask them for donations with the promises of prizes for participation. They also had other prizes on this flyer. Basically, the more people that donate using your name, the bigger prize you get. This is taking me back to the Jump Heart for Life. I don't know if this is just a Canadian thing. You would like get basketballs and sweaters and stuff for doing stuff for the Heart Foundation. My son wanted the headphone prize. Nowhere on the flyer did it say how many donations were needed. I called the school to ask and they said 12. I sent out 20 emails. 14 people donated. The donation list was emailed to the school with his student ID where we could pick up the prizes this past Monday. My son was losing his mind. He was so excited because he got the 12 donations needed for headphones. We walk in and they proceed to tell my son that he did not qualify for the prize because in order to be eligible, you need 20 donations. Apparently, the prizes for donations started counting after you received 20. They turned damn near every student away. Not just my kid. Ooh, this doesn't feel good. So I sent the boy with his father and pulled the teacher and principal aside to let them know that what I thought they were doing was messed up and they got these kids' hopes up for absolutely nothing and that what they accomplished was destroying the children's spirits by lying to their faces. I then told them that I was told by the secretary that he only needed 12 donations for those headphones. They said, sorry you feel that way and this is just how things are right now due to COVID. So I responded with, oh, so lying to students and breaking their spirits is okay because of COVID? Failing to provide virtual learning for the rest of the week like other schools is okay because of COVID? Asking for donations when these kids are here only once a week is okay too? I walked out. Well, my son got headphones in the mail today with a note from the superintendent that said, I'm very sorry for the actions of the school system and the confusion formed around the donation drive. We are trying to work with the families, not turn them away. Please accept this as an apology. My son is over the moon. My husband says that I was being a Karen and that I should have just dropped it because it teaches our son that life isn't fair. And now I look like an AH helicopter to the parents. Am I the A? I don't think so. So this was rated not the A. I think that this story is a big old fat story of miscommunication. I think that secretary shouldn't have been giving out information that she didn't know to be true. Definitely should have double checked. I don't think you're an a-hole. You stood up for what you believed in. I don't think anyone is an a-hole here. I think the world was an absolute mess in 2020 and thank God we're not there anymore. Can you believe it's 5 years ago? 5 years ago. What? Ooh, this is a Karen story that happened at my work. So I am a server in a restaurant. Today we were slightly busy, just like any other day. I'm the manager, so I try to help all the servers with their stuff. One of the servers had their table's food come up, so I took the first few plates out for her. Okay, that's nice. It was for a lady and her husband, her kid, and her mother. She had short dyed Karen hairdo, so I just got a bad vibe from her. I love how like you see them and you know. Why do they get the same haircut? A lot of them. They said, we need ketchup. I said, okay, 1 second. So I went back to get their other plates and grabbed the ketchup. And when I came back, this bee is standing in the server station helping herself to ketchup and stuff. She didn't even give me a chance to get it for her. I was like, you're not allowed back here. And she very nastily said, well, I just went back there. And I said, well, don't do it again. And by this time, she was back at her table and was talking loudly in front of the other patrons. She said it was, that's fine. I'll just talk to the manager. And I said, I'm the manager. It felt so good. She shut up and didn't say another word the whole time that they were there. She also stiffed the waitress, which I felt really bad about. Oh, and later on her husband came in and talked to the owner and said I was really rude and really embarrassed her. Ugh. Sometimes when people are in a bad mood, they just go to a restaurant. Obviously they're like having a bad day, they don't want to cook. And then they poop on servers. You poop. I'm a really good tipper. I don't know why I just need to say that. If I've ever come to your restaurant, stand up for me. Everyone should work in the service industry for at least 3 to 6 months at minimum. No, you know what? Everybody should work in customer service. It makes you a better person. It really does. Ooh, am I the Karen? That's worse. So, little backstory. I, 21 female, am a Midwestern transplant to the deep south of Georgia. So, I want to go to Georgia. I just want to go to the vampire. I want to go to Mystic Falls. Dun, 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 dun. Easy transition. Hi, I want to talk to you really quick about this. Hi, this is a book that I wrote. Yep. It's coming out in January. Hardcover, sprayed edges with blood. It's going to be so absolutely freaking gorgeous and amazing. I have 3 dreams in my whole life. I have 3 dreams. Okay, these are selfish. I get it. One, to have a baby. Got it. Oh my God, I love it. Next thing, I really want a screenplay of mine to be turned into a movie. Want to know what my #1 dream is? I want to be on the New York bestseller list. That's all I want to do. This book was published before HarperCollins saw it. They said, let's fix it up. Let's put it out again. Let's do it. So I get that's going to be hard, but it is different. There's some more sexy things in here. But if you ever did one thing for me, it would be pre-ordering this book. Put it into Google. You can find it. I have links everywhere. If you want to make my dreams come true, please go holla. Back to it. Now, I am not of the Midwestern vein that inherited Canadian niceness. Rather than the NYC meets redneck region where we quite frankly, well, no one gives a shit. As such, I am quite blunt and very different from the southern women around here. I try not to be rude, but it comes out that way from time to time when I don't say it with a smile. I know I met so many of you. I have developed some skills to fit in better and can usually slap a I'm not mad but fix it grin on when I need to. I am in a restaurant with a friend who consistently makes jokes that I am a Karen. So at said restaurant, we are having lunch and it is a slow day for this place. Now, I normally have 0 issues with food coming out slow. It happens, I get it. But being one of 4 tables on an uncharacteristically slow day full of staff, I shouldn't expect to wait 45 minutes for 2 sandwiches that seemed that they would be done for quite some time. The food was cold, soggy, unseasoned, and their new portion control ideas were taken way too far. I realized that the staff working flat doesn't care to do things right that day and didn't even bother sending it back because I knew that there would be no point. I want to pay for my food that I've pushed away and go. Okay. Waitress returns and asks, everything tasting good? To which I reply with an aforementioned grin, no, it really kind of sucked. Can we just get the check? Because she asked, she got a little flustered and went to get the manager. To my protest, I didn't really care. It was one meal and I still got to hang out with my friend who was embarrassed on the other side of the table because I seemed to have offended his polite sensibilities. Waitress and manager return. He asked what the problem was, and I tell him all the things I mentioned because again, he asked. I wasn't angry, I never raised my voice, I never cursed, I just didn't apologize for not liking the food, which here is customary. He rolled his eyes so far back into his head, I'm pretty convinced he saw the secret to life. That's a funny line. I might use that. And told me that they would comp it if I wanted. I said no, because the food is usually decent and I didn't want to be hated. And my friend asked, then why make a fuss? Because they asked. And still, every time we go somewhere, he asks me not to be a Karen. Mind you, there's been other instances of such things happening in different contexts. One such brief example is when I made a guy step away from his own birthday party because his car was blocking me in and I wanted to go home. Did my grin, but didn't mention that making him step away was my fault because he parks like shit. Friend didn't like that one either and thought it was important for me to mention and provide context to my Karen-ness. Am I the a-hole? Okay. I'm gonna be honest, this was rated, so I don't agree. They asked, you said, what's wrong with that? We can't be that soft as a culture, can we? This person said that they are. I'm a blunt New Yorker and saying, no, it kind of sucks, still strikes me as insanely rude. Okay, I get it. Wording was a little off. You don't have to apologize to be polite, but you could honestly say it's pretty soggy and doesn't taste as good as the food usually does. I think we're choosing bits and bites here. My aunt is a Karen and has the it's just how I am personality. It was cool when I was 10 to 12 and I thought, oh, she's just bossy, important woman. But now that I'm an adult, I cringe because it's not cool. It's old and makes her seem like she has no tact or control. I've never complained about food, I'm gonna be honest, but I don't know, I don't find this one that bad. You put the server in a really awkward position by complaining about the food and not letting them do anything to address it. Okay, I see that. I don't know if I'm on the same path. I don't know. Am I an A for telling my new neighbors that I have been trapped in a basement for weeks after she told me not to check my mailbox on weekends? What? I have been away since Thursday, house sitting for my mom, and it is currently Sunday afternoon where I live. Here, mail does not deliver on weekends. They only do that Monday to Friday, which means I had 2 days worth of mail filling up my mailbox. My 30-something-year-old neighbors moved in on Friday when I wasn't here, and she was in her front yard when I was collecting my mail. She goes, "Don't check your mailbox on weekends. They don't deliver on weekends." So I don't check it, in a rude Karen voice, if you know what I mean. Already, I know we are not going to have a great neighbor relationship, and I am hungover and can't be bothered dealing with her shit. And I said, "I know, it's just I've been kidnapped in the basement for a week, so I need to check my mailbox." I don't have a basement. Barely anyone does in this country. She seemed shocked. It was an obvious joke with my overly sarcastic tone. Then we both went inside, and that was that. About 25 minutes later, the police knocked at my door thinking I was held captive in my basement, which I don't have. So I explained to them what I had actually said, and they laughed and left. Just before I was putting my rubbish out in the bin, she came out and called me the C word for making her think I was kidnapped. What? You were outside. That's a funny one. Not the A. This is hilarious. There's an edit. Thank you for your judgment, everyone. I honestly thought it was going to have a different outcome because I felt horrible after the police arrived. Like I said, it was incredibly wrong of me. No, it's not. No, it's not. This person said some people need to mind their own damn business. Who cares when you check your mail? Completely agree. Also, some people just don't understand sarcasm. At least she cared enough to call the cops for you. You know what? You got that. That's the one thing. If there's Karen, if there's things going down in the neighborhood, they got you. They got you so hard. Am I the A for refusing to let my Karen neighbor use my pool after she demanded I follow her pool rules? So I, 34 male, live in a suburban neighborhood with a decent sized backyard and pool. I have always been friendly with my neighbors, including Karen, mid-40s female, who moved in next door about a year ago. She seemed nice at first, but as time went on, she started to show her true colors. Over the summer, Karen started coming over with her kids, asking if they could use the pool. I didn't mind because I was usually outside anyways, and the kids seemed to really enjoy it. But soon things got weird. Karen began showing up unannounced, sometimes even when I wasn't home, and I caught her using the pool without my permission. Don't like it. Don't like it. Well, it's kind of like your responsibility if somebody drowns, right? One day I came home to find Karen and several of her friends having a full-on pool party in my backyard, complete with snacks, music, and pool floats. I confronted her. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. She acted like it was no big deal, saying, "Oh, you weren't using it, so I figured it was fine." No, 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 no. I don't like it. I told her politely but firmly that she needed to ask before coming over and that I was not comfortable with her just assuming she could use the pool whenever. Karen seemed annoyed but agreed to follow the rules. Then last week, she took things to a whole new level. Karen knocked on my door with a typed up list of pool rules that she wanted me to follow. Here's the rules. No swimming after 5 p.m. because her kids have a strict bedtime. No loud music when her family is outside. And mandatory weekend access for her and her kids, but only for their exclusive use. Ma'am. What? I thought she was joking at first, but she was dead serious. I laughed and told her that there was no way I was following any of her rules for my pool. Duh. Karen got angry and called me selfish, saying that I was ruining the neighborhood spirit and being unfair to the kids. They're not your kids. They're not his kids. I don't like this. Now she's been spreading rumors to the neighbors that I'm a bad guy for not sharing the pool. Some of the neighbors have even said that I should let it go and avoid the drama, but I feel like this is insane. It's my pool, and she's acting like she owns it. Am I the A for refusing to let Karen and her kids use my pool? There's some updates. Just to let everyone know, my backyard fence does not have a lock. I've taken your advice and I purchased one from the store. I'll be installing it tomorrow. For those suggesting I get a camera, I already have one, but it's not pointing directly at the pool. Hey everyone, update on the situation. Thank you for the advice. It really helped me see I wasn't overreacting. Amen. So I went ahead and installed a keypad lock on my back fence. I figured it would solve the problem without needing another awkward convo with Karen. Plus, you were all right about the liability stuff. I really don't want to deal with any potential fallout if someone gets hurt using my pool. Of course, so Karen has noticed the lock pretty much immediately. She was at my door furious, saying I was locking out the neighborhood kids and treating her family like criminals. She went on about how I was being dramatic and why I couldn't just let them use it like before. I told them straight up that I wanted some privacy and control over who was using my pool. After all, it's my backyard, not a community park. She rolled her eyes and said I was being selfish. Honestly, I feel a lot better with the lock on now. Love it. Your pool, yo problem, yo life, yo drama. Curious, today in the comments, I want you to drop below what level Karen you are. We're gonna go between 1 and 5. How many Karen strong are you? I would say from 1 to 5, I'm maybe a 2 Karen. I'm gonna be honest, she's come out before, but not as Karen-y as you would think. I have road rage. No, I don't. I'm okay.
Liar!
Anyways, I love you guys. I hope that you are having a beautiful day, and make sure that you come watch my videos every time I post. My dream is to be a YouTuber and on the New York bestseller list and have a movie and have a baby. Aha! Okay, till next time. Love you. Bye!